There we go. Whoops, had my mic muted. What's going on? Yo, 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 yo. How's everybody doing? It's your boy Daniel with the Alien Fitness. Thank y'all for tuning in today for another YouTube live stream. Your boy is on the second live stream of the day. Yes. Yes, sir. So we are on the second live stream today. Your boy couldn't hit the gym today. I don't know what it is. I have a pain in my leg and it is not feeling too shabby. It is like in my adductor muscles, you know, the inner thigh region. I don't know what the hell I did or what it is, but it hurts. It got me walking with a limp. So right now I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But for right now, oh, my mic is working. Okay, good. So we got a working mic today. I was having technical difficulties earlier, but we got the mic working. So we good. You know what? Let me just double check that mic. Let me check. Inner thigh region. I don't know what the hell I did or what. All right, there we go. That boy sound good too. So yes, so we're on the second stream of today. Hopefully you're having a good day, good Friday. And if you're not having a good Friday, we're gonna let Mr. Chow break it down to you since he couldn't earlier because the stream was fucking up.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you didn't get shot, as long as you're still here and alive with us, you can still make something happen with your life and become great. Yes. All right, and just know that we are simultaneously streaming Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and Rumble. And if you want to go ahead and follow any one of those platforms, we're multi-streaming on all of those right now. And you want to contribute to today's show, Cash App and Venmo. Cash App, Daniel2888, Venmo, Daniel-00. All right, let's get right into today's show because I ain't got too much time. I have to go ahead and get this one out the way. I want to get these topics out the way because I have to redo some streams because I wasn't able to. I screwed up. Well, the sound screwed up on these two streams, so I have to redo these streams. So I'm kind of like switching them out how I did them, but you know, still doing them. But yeah, whatever. Just somewhat redoing them, maybe reframing them a little bit, but whatever. We still getting the job done. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into today's show. Today's show, we're going to talk about Islamists versus Muslims. We got to see what's going on with this Islamists versus Muslims. What's the difference? Understanding the difference. Trying to figure out what the difference is between the two. And for that, we're going to start off with today's first video. It's going to be the Muslim country that rejected radical Islam. Yes, sir. Where my soundbite at? There it goes. Yes, the Muslim country that rejected radical Islam. We're going to start off that with this video. We're going to watch this video by Vice Grad, and we're going to see what's going on with him. And he's talking to a Muslim who talks about rejecting radical Islam. So it'll help us to probably get a better perspective on the Islamist versus a Muslim, because it clearly seems like there's two different things. So we're going to get the understanding of the two to see how they decipher and understand that America's been infiltrated like a mofo by radical Islam. And right now they're about to go in. They about to go in balls deep on America here pretty soon. Radical Islam is about to dominate America here pretty soon. At least from my perspective, the way things are looking, because it ain't looking too good, to be quite honest with you. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Let me go ahead and get the care up. Care list 2026. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get this up right here so we'll have the care on deck when we need to use it, because you know, we got to see how this thing goes down. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get this thing popping. Let's go ahead and get this show started. We're going to get an understanding of what is going on and what's going on here. Let's see. What do we got? Yeah, we'll look into care later. But right now, we're going to start out with the portion of the video where we're going to have a Muslim break down radical Islam and how they get rid of it, because they know, they know what's bullshit and what's not when it comes to people using their religion as a political gain, as opposed to, a harmonious living existence of faith. But teachers on, I digress. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this video and get this thing started. So wait. You know what? Not even gonna do an intro. We're just gonna get right into it. So let me go ahead and pull this up on the screen. This is by Vice Grad. He's speaking to an individual here. I don't know what this guy's name is, but he's going to talk about the Muslim country that rejected Islam. And first, he's going to have a topic he talks about, which is Islamism in the West. So he's going to speak on Islamists, radical Islam in the West, and how we handle it and how it should be, looked at. So without further ado, with that being said, let's go ahead and get cracking. Here we go.
Finally. Amjad, let's start with the differences between Islam here in the United Arab Emirates and the Islam that we see on our TV screens, the Islam of radicalism that we see everywhere.
When you see it on our TVs, I believe
the West is what you mean. And on the West, what we see also, we are very shocked most of the time. You see radical Islamist Brotherhood who are former terrorists or terrorists themselves, but in the West, they have been named as activists. Those who run away from justice in their own country, and those who committed a crime have been involved in various heinous acts such as rape and beheading and so on. All of those individuals right now, they live in the West as teachers, as lecturers, as doctors, and as protesters.
Hold up, hold up, hold up. Did I hear that correctly? Bro just said that the people who were Islamists that got kicked out of the Muslim country, that was radical Islam in a Muslim country that used to be for heinous crimes of beheadings and very bad crimes, they are now in the West as, you know what? Let me just play that again. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess up his words. Okay, let me see. All right, let me see. Let's see. I believe what you. Okay, so he had the question. So we're gonna start back. All right, I gotta hear this again. So he gave him a question, and then from the question, he goes, "I believe what you mean is, I believe what you mean. The West is what you mean." So the question was, what is the Islam that we see everywhere versus Muslims? Was basically the difference. I'll just play the question again. Screw it. Here we go.
Islam here. Amjad, let's start with the differences between Islam here in the United Arab Emirates and the Islam that we see on our TV screens, the Islam of radicalism that we see everywhere.
When you see on our TVs, I believe the West is what you mean. And on the West, what we see also, we are very shocked most of the time. You see radical Islamist Brotherhood who are former terrorists or terrorists themselves, but in the West, they have been named as activists.
Okay, that's what he said. So he said the radical Islamists, you're a former terrorist, but over here in the West, you've become activists.
Those who run away from justice in their own country, and those who committed a crime have been involved in various heinous acts such as rape and beheading and so on. All of those individuals right now, they live in the West as teachers, as lecturers, as doctors, and as protesters.
So those people who commit crimes over there, the radical Islamists who commit crimes of rape and beheadings, are now over here in the West as protesters, activists, doctors, lecturers, teachers. And yet people are pissed off about ICE when they come in and wrap a motherfucker up and send them back on their way. But not understanding that these people, this dude right here, what would he say? He's he's a part of the UAE. You know what I mean? So they can see that shit from a mile away. Like, get that shit out of here now. Gone on somewhere. But they do go somewhere. They know what these people are crazy with, what they've done. So they're like, yeah, we know what you've done. So they know they go to different countries. They go to different countries, but they still go to the country with this stigma of, well, not stigma, but, with the convictions of crimes that they committed. Crimes of rape and beheadings and killings and stuff like that. But now they're in the West, integrated, and now they're a part of the system. Activists, oh my goodness, protesters, teachers, doctors, and they can see these motherfuckers. They looking like, how the hell that nigga get over there? And how y'all let that nigga become a teacher? This nigga just cut a head off over here. I'm adding extra effect, but I'm just saying that's crazy. That's crazy. But let's continue. We're learning.
As protesters who protest to glorify the Muslim Brotherhood, the armed forces at least of the Muslim Brotherhood, as we see after the 7th of October, by that time in Hamas. They glorify terrorism and all form of terrorism. And
it was said that Ilhan Omar, some of the money that she was funneling and stuff, that stuff was going back to terrorist groups back from where she was from.
They do not respect the rules and the regulation of the countries that they say they went there, and they had a refugee status there, And as they get the citizenship, they start recruiting the citizens of the West to become hostages of the Islamist propaganda all the way in the Middle East, which their parents ran away from them and they went to the West and they became a citizen. However, this new generation of theirs, they start becoming the recruiters of those Islamists in the Middle East, and they're right now at a stage of making more lone wolves. And we saw that lone wolves policy of ISIS. A lot of those extremists who some were European went all the way and became members of ISIS in Iraq and Syria. They actually were members of the Green Lane Mosque, for example, or in Birmingham in UK, in Small Heath, or in Sheffield, or in West Sydney in Australia, or in Canada. So they were part of that civilized culture and that civilization, great civilization in the West. However, because of the scholars that Britain, Canada, or Australia, or any other country, ignoring or ignorance of the fact that this scholar is recruiting and is not speaking about religion, is actually using the space and the place in the West and the freedom of speech to make these children or these students or these people in the West to become the hostage of the Islamist, and then later on to become the soldier that kills his own neighbor.
Bruh. Yo, bruh. Homie just broke down what we going through right about. Now, you know what? Give him a round of applause for that extremely exquisite breakdown. Give that man a round of applause. Good Lord. That was deep. And we just started the show. He came in swinging. So basically, he's saying, in a nutshell, that they're coming over here, but they're utilizing free speech and weaponizing free speech. And we see that all the time. We see them weaponizing free speech, calling people Islamophobes and making it seem like that they're victims, and you're always ostracizing them and making them. But it's like, motherfucker, you came over here with a political agenda of conquering. But like he's saying, it's like, you're a terrorist. You know, you do heinous stuff, and they can see it. They're like, we see who you are. You ain't one of us. He's saying, I'm a Muslim, but you a radical Islamist. He can see the difference. He's like, you might dress like me and shit. We might read the same book, but motherfucker, we ain't the same. No, we ain't the same. And now you over there in the West pulling shit off, which is, man, that's crazy. Ugh. And you know what? I'm going to pull up their website here. You know what? I'll pull up the website right now because I already have it up. It is right here. Here it is. Here is the website. You know what? Let me go to, where is their stuff? Where is their, we got board of directors. Oh, let's read our mission and vision. Here we go. All right. Cares. Councils of American Islamic Relations. Right here. Oh, whoops. Where's my shit? Oh, I pushed the wrong button. 1 second. There we go. Sorry, wrong button. So right here, as you can see right here, here's the website, Council of American Islamic Relations. All right. So you got to be careful to understand that you have Muslims and you have Islamic people. And clearly, if you look at this picture, they look like of all faiths. I mean, some may look like what you expect, but then others may look like black people or simply white people. But let's read their mission. All right. The mission is the CARES vision is to be a leading advocate for justice and mutual understanding. What the hell does that mean? CARES mission is to enhance understanding of Islam, protect civil rights, promote justice, and empower American Muslims. Sounds like feminism, but for Muslims or Islamists. And then they have this in a different language. I'm not going to read. Core principles. CARES supports free enterprise, freedom of religion, and freedom of expression. That is bullshit. CARES is committed to protecting civil rights of all Americans, regardless of their faith. But then it says the mission is to enhance understanding of Islam, protect civil rights, promote justice, and empower American Muslims. But then it says it's committed to protecting civil rights of all Americans, regardless of faith. Oh no, bro. I don't know. CARE supports domestic policies that promote civil rights, diversity, and freedom of religion, and it opposes domestic policies that limit civil rights, permit racial, ethnic, or religious profiling, infringe on due process, or that prevent Muslims and others from participating fully in American civil life. But you're not assimilating to American life. That's the thing. This is not assimilation. This is coming in and making the American way a Muslim American way, because it's in an American country, so it has to be called American, but it's a Muslim way. Not, oh my God, you have to be able to read this, because this is crazy. CARE is naturally ally of groups, religious or secular. How? Well, I guess it can be. That advocates justice and human rights in America and around the world. CARE supports foreign policies that help create free and equitable trade, encourage human rights, and promote representation government based on socioeconomic justice. CARE believes that active practice of Islam strengthens the social and religious fabric of our nation. That word "our" it really does mean Islamist. It does not mean everybody as a whole. Look at this. They believe active practice of Islam strengthens the social and religious. Get the fuck out of here. That is not, no. CAR condemns all acts of violence against civilians by any individual, group, or state, whatever. CAR advocates dialogue between faith communities both in American and worldwide. CAR supports equal and complementary rights and responsibilities for men and women. So what he's saying, so what this guy over here is saying, let me find it. I think I lost it. No. So what he's saying over here makes a lot of sense. Because he's basically saying, like, you're using freedom of speech and stuff to hold the people hostage of the place that you're infiltrating. Because they know that the warfare, the war tactic that they're using, they're infiltrating the country via a war tactic of politics and economics. It's not, bang, 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 shoot them up, bang, bang with guns. No, they're not doing it that way. You know what I mean? I showed you already in the last stream I just did earlier. There's 73 U.S. lawmakers that are retiring. There's going to be some open vacancies and open seats. And last year, the Islamists, I'm going to call them Islamists. I don't call them Muslims. The Islamists, they won 42 or 45 seats last year, and they had 76 candidates. So that's well over 50%. So we're going to see what happens now. But let's go back to Buddy right here and let him continue breaking stuff down. So here we go.
I saw a really shocking statistic speaking about Westerners who joined ISIS. More British citizens traveled to the Islamic State to fight in its ranks than joined the British Armed Forces.
Yeah, the numbers are huge. We're speaking about more than 7,000, I think, some of the Western who at least hold a European passport.
Why do you think Islamism is finding such fertile soil in Europe?
Two things. Well, various things, to be honest, not the two things. But the first thing is the fact that there is they abuse the freedom of speech. So what they do, they use the freedom of speech.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Comparing Muslim to Islamist, bro seems very, very chill. That's one thing I can already notice this off top. Now again, I don't know the dude. This is my first time seeing him, so he could just be acting a certain way to save face. But from what I've noticed, from Islamists to Muslims, bro is very chill.
To justify anti-Semitism, for example. And they turn the anti-Semitism to become an opinion rather than a crime.
Sure.
So that space of freedom, but the fact that Europeans or the West need to understand these Islamists right now, they know the error. They know this problem that you're having. Yes, it's not, the problem is not with the freedom of speech. The problem is that there is an evil inside your society now, is becoming a member of your society, using that policy of freedom of speech to abuse it and to destroy your society.
The liberals, the liberal mindset. They figured it out. They see like, oh, we have an agenda. Like I was saying earlier, they're utilizing the evil that the liberal people have in their mindset. But at the same time, like I always say, it's almost like you're seeing the fruit of American labor come to a head. You know what I mean? Because when you go back and you look at American history has some really fucked up racial shit that they've done to black people over the years. You can't ignore that. You cannot ignore it. I know they like to graze over it and, oh, it's just slavery was a really, really big deal in America, and they've done black people very badly. And the system is very systemic to where they've done black people. So now what you have is their children growing up knowing that their grandpappies and grandmamas and great-great-grandpappies and grandmamas stole land, became $5 in, well, I'm gonna say stole land, came over here, conquered land, became $5 Indians, raped, robbed, lynched, use babies for alligator bait from the black people or the natives who were already here. They did that to these people, and then also stole from their patents of creation and inventions, stole their money off of. So that's a history of America, regardless of how you want to look at it. So then the children grow up, and the children grow up to be like, well, if that's my history of how we got here, you know, white supremacy and a system that does put its foot on the necks of black people, but at the same time, you don't let that shit hold you down. You don't use that as a victim card. Don't use it as a victim card. Don't be a victim. Acknowledge it, know your history, but don't be a victim. You know what I mean? You just understand, hey, this how shit is. I'm still gonna reign supreme on top of these motherfuckers. So when you have all that going on, now over the years, your fruits that you bear, fruits meaning children, they're gonna grow up, and some of them are not gonna like to look back on their history and be like, what the fuck? Why is my history of my great grandpeople's robbing, raping, and killing and pillaging people, and I still see it till this day of white supremacy and all these different things. So now those children are growing up fighting against, their elders and the history of the. So now these Islamists, they see that shit as an angle. They see it as an angle. They come in and they like, oh, they're fighting one another. Okay, so the red side is fighting against the blue side. The blue side is rebelling against the red side. The red side, so they see like these group of white people fighting against each other, right? They realize it's like generation versus generation. It's like father versus son, or mother versus daughter, or cousin versus cousin. They see it and they're like, huh, which side could we get on and take over the country with? And they figured and they realized that you go with the side that's immoral. You go with the immoral side. And when you side with the immoral side, that's your segue into the country. And that's what he's talking about. These Islamists see that there's an evil inside of the country, and they're able to utilize it and pick up on it. Because, I mean, if you look at it's just like the Bible. Every single empire, every single place that comes into fruition or comes to power gets corrupted or starts to corrupt or was built off of corruption. So the foundation has always been shaky to begin with. At some point, you're going to fall. Some point, you're going to collapse, And then what we're seeing is Islamists are practically running the same playbook that the white man used to take the shit over. Now it's just getting ran on them, but their own children are being used against them. Which is the same thing with black people. Every time a black person tries to rise up, there's always a snitch or a mole within the organization. So the same shit is happening to them. So then here we are, like full circle, watching this thing play out. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But let's continue. Here we go.
Destroy your universities. At one point, universities such as Harvard University, Oxford University, and those prestigious universities, people in the East and the West, they want to become a member of, or they want to study or teach there. Right now, when I remember Harvard University, I remember protests where Jewish students get persecuted, be swore at, be insulted. It's a place, as much as I see from the images recently, for riots, for people insulting each other, for teachers get attacked for having a different perspective or opinion. People fighting, people with masks covering their faces with flags of terrorists, Hamas, Hezbollah, and all this. So they turn the place of education and knowledge to a war zone. When that happens, you're civilized.
Hold on, I gotta stop him. He said you turn your place of education into a war zone, which is true, because you got, I don't know what history lesson is being taught in these colleges, and this feminism shit that's being taught in these colleges, but these women are coming out and they're exuding this shit. they're oozing it out of their pores, you know what I mean? And then they get an education, they're going out, they're getting jobs, they're doing it, and it's kind of like the same playbook from the USSR before it got turned over to a communist state. You know what I mean? If you go back and look at the communist transition, the women came into power as that USSR transition was happening. You know what I mean? But what he said is really true. As you see, you're able to use your educational institutions as war zones, as battlegrounds. So now you don't go to harmoniously get educated. It's like you come out and you're like, fight the patriarchy. I'm angry, and I'm gonna, have sex with as many people as I want. And the whole time the Islamists is like, yeah, we don't rock like that, but we support you on who you're fighting against, so we can come in and like layeth thee, smacketh downeth on your candy asses when the time comes. But in the meantime, keep doing what you're doing, because we support it, and we are going to keep empowering thee because we like to see it. But he's right. He's 100% right. All right, let's go.
Civilization is either going down or it's breaking, and it's breaking under your observation. You're allowing it to happen. You can put rules and regulation, deport those Islamists. Do not let them harm your children. Do not let them harm your society, your community. Do not let them be the people who wake up on the 8th of October, for example, and tell you to boycott challah, attack a Jewish restaurant just for being a Jew. And they justify it and they allow it. Don't be. This is your country. This is your civilization.
I don't know why the sound is popping like that. I don't know if it's the recording or is it my speakers. I haven't figured that out yet, but sorry. But he's making a good point. He's making a good point.
You pointed out deportations, which I obviously couldn't agree more with. However, one of the structural problems that we have in Europe, certainly Western Europe, all the data that I have seen points to the fact that second and third generation migrants are much more likely to be radicals than first generation migrants, which means that if we are talking about France, many of the migrants are obviously from the Maghreb region, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco. In the UK, many come from Pakistan, Somalia. The second and third generation is more likely to be radicalized, and they are already citizens.
Interesting. All right, I hit that button at the right time because now they're going into a ad. But he's saying second and third generation migrants tend to be more radicalized, which is interesting because as we look at these people, they are less likely to be more conservative and stick to the script and follow the playbook of their predecessors, if I say that correctly, of their previous family members of the previous generation. So it's like the migrants come in second, third, fourth generation and are more radicalized after they become citizens, but then we also have third, fourth, fifth generation European people who have come in here, and now their own seeds, their own children are becoming more liberal against the whole system that is built for their advantage to succeed. So it's almost like timing played itself perfect, and the inevitable is meant to happen. It's what it looks like to me. Like the timing is like, hey, good shit don't last forever. You know what I mean? Like at some point, it's got to do what it got to do. But I think that's interesting, but let's continue this conversation because I really enjoy this. We're almost done with it. Here we go.
Now, how do you deal with a radicalized second or third generation migrant that you cannot deport because he is a citizen of your country?
Yeah, with those, you change the rules and the regulation when it comes to radicalization. For example, one great example of this is the fact that why did they become radical?
I would say there's many reasons.
One of which is they do have their own, they start separating themselves from the rest of the country and the rest of the community. One. Two, they start having those schools, what we call the jihadist school of Saturday, Sunday, so on weekend. Now, why did the government allow those scholars to be the scholars of those mosques? If the scholar does not support coexistence, peace, prosperity, and tolerance, he should not be that teacher of that new generation.
See, and he's right, but I always say this, like he's right on what he's saying. It's like if they don't support this, then why is that teacher the scholar of that generation? I keep saying that Americans are selling out Americans. This is a deliberate, intentional thing. Like it's not I mean, kick the damn teacher out and get a different teacher that doesn't line up with the views of the direction the country is supposed to be headed in. You literally have American teachers that are going in and deliberately swaying the minds of the children in college, mostly women, come out and it's just like rampage, you know what I mean? And there's this storm, and then you give them money, and then you give them this sense of empowerment, and then they're out there fornicating and having sex, and then they're against marriage. They're against everything that builds a country. They're against everything that builds a country, but they're pro everything that tears down the very country and society in which they live in. So he's on it, man. He's really on it.
Because what that student goes, or that person when he attends the mosque, is going there for the knowledge, for spirituality, and so on. Now, when you have the scholar himself is the evil, the result of that is that conduct of evil, which the individual himself will carry and do. The change for that is the educational system. So there need to be first look into those mosques, look into the societies, bring them more close to each other, that they need to have a lot of activities together and so on. And also, why is it the fact that a person that lives in Dubai, a Muslim person from the same background of the person that lives in France or in UK, third, fourth generation here, they're still open mind, they're still Muslim, they're still conservative, yet they're not radical. They're not supporters or glorifiers of terrorists. But a person who is a Muslim living all the way in France or Britain is more radicalized and is more, there is more likely that he's going to become a member of the ISIS or a Muslim Brotherhood terrorist organization. Is the fact that the West, up to this point, the media is justifying the existence of, for example, Islamic Relief as a charity organization in UK or in the West. Why? It's not a charity organization. It's a foundation or an organization that steals the money from the West, the pockets of the people who are willing to help. Yet it takes that money and it gives it to organizations, terrorist organizations in the Middle East.
Bro, that is literally
under the name of a school and hospitals. But those schools are run by actual Islamists.
Let me play that again. I have to play that again because he literally just described the Minnesota situation. I got to play that again. I didn't mean to talk over it. He literally described the Minnesota situation. Let me play that again.
But a person who is a Muslim living all the way in France or Britain is more radicalized and is more, there is more likely that he's going to become a member of the ISIS or a Muslim Brotherhood terrorist organization. Is the fact that the West, up to this point, the media is justifying the existence of, for example, Islamic Relief as a charity organization in UK or in the West. Why? It's not a charity organization. It's a foundation or an organization that steals the money from the West, the pockets of the people who are willing to help. Yet he takes that money and he gives it to organizations, terrorist organizations in the Middle East, under the name of a school and hospitals. But those schools are run by actual Islamist terrorists who fund and support even Hamas. You cannot be Muslim more than me. You will not be more Arab than I. So why is it that I banned the Muslim Brotherhood and you haven't?
Sir. Bro just described America dealing with Minnesota fraud and other frauds, but he broke that down to a fraction. Like, bro, they coming over here, they taking your shit, and then they're sending it off in the name of schools and hospitals bro just described it to a T. Wow. What, sir, let me give you, sir, I wish I knew your name. I didn't get your name, so forgive me for not knowing your name. I apologize. And he's saying in a Muslim country that Islamist shit don't fly. They don't allow that. They kick them fuckers out. But he's like, why over in the West and over in y'all's what is it? Somewhere in Europe, one of them countries in Europe. He said, why y'all let that shit fly? And I say Americans are selling out Americans. That's why. They found the evil inside of your they find an evil inside of your civilization, inside of your country, which for us is Republican and Democrat. They found out that the Democrats support something and they can feed on it and push on it and go against the other side and overpower the other side so much. But at the end of the day, they on some Satanist shit at the end of the day. Because, you know, America is about money. And somebody can go in and get money and if you got money, you win in this country. That's just really how it goes. But he nailed it with that one. So he basically just boiled it down. He was like, we don't put up with that Islamist shit over here. Y'all do. And they leave us and go to you. And now they found a way in. And they found a way in so much. Let me see if I have it. They found a way in so much. Let me see. Where can I find it? Let's see. Become a member. Let's see. Join. Yeah, they found a way so much that they got a whole thing right here where you can become a member and integrate into the country like this right here. Become a member. You know, you could do research and education, do media. You know, you could donate. They got crypto, stocks, and gifts. You know, it's car eligible. They're a nonprofit organization. My ass. You know what I mean? How can you apply? So now you can come over here as a Council of American Islamic Relations, and whatever fucked up shit you did, you can come over here and like blend in, you know what I mean? And be like, yeah, I rock with you. I do all the good stuff, you know. I haven't done anything bad. But now you can come over here and blend in and look like, you know, a functioning member of society, but you might be a bad person. I'm not saying that everybody there is bad, but at the same time, if you're not assimilating to the country that you're in, you're planting your flag and you're trying to conquer. That's a tactic of warfare. You know what I mean? And he's saying that they don't fall for that shit. So for some reason y'all do, but we don't. And why y'all letting that happen? He's like, I don't know. I can't figure it out, but y'all gonna find out the hard way. That's crazy. That's crazy. For sure, that is wild. Let me see. No, let me actually find what I was looking for. Oh, damn, we have a cars in Austin, Texas. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Look, Congress.gov, House Joint Resolution or House Resolution, designate car as a terrorist organization act. Latest, did they? To direct the Secretary of State to review whether the meets the criteria. Oh man, see, and they're trying to do it right now. Check it out. So right now, what is this? Congress.gov. 119 Congress first session to direct the Secretary of State to review whether the Council of American Islamic Relations meet the criteria for designation as a foreign terrorist organization and for other purposes. That's in the House of Representatives. It's introduced the following bill, which was referred to the Committee on the Judiciary June 24th, 2025. A bill. The act may be cited as designated car as a terrorist organization act, and they could be, because Black Lives Matter was practically the same thing. You know what I mean? They was a Marxist socialist group. Let's see. Congress finds the following. The cars has been named as a unindicted co-conspirator in the 2007 Holy Land Foundation terrorism financing trial. Multiple state legislatures, including Florida, Arizona, have passed resolutions urging avoidance of engagement with CAR due to its alleged affiliation with terrorist groups. The FBI has suspended all formal contacts with CAR due to evidence demonstrating a relationship between CAR and Hamas, designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the United States Department of State and monsters behind the brutal attack on the state of Israel on October 7, 2023, indiscriminately raping, torturing, and killing over 1,200 innocent persons, including Israelis, Americans, and other nationals, among whom were babies and Holocaust survivors, and taking 240 Israelis, Americans, and other civilians as hostages. That dude, bro, that guy that I just showed you, he explained this shit to a T. Congress also finds Hamas and Iranian leadership have called for extermination of Israelis, Americans, Jews, and Christians around the world and establishment of a global Islamic caliphate. Jesus. Wow. Let's see. The Congress also stated the goal of Hamas and its allies is complete and total destruction of the state of Israel and the Jewish people. So as we go on and so on and so forth, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Let's see. The review of whether CAR meets the criteria for designation as foreign terrorist organization no later than 90 days after the date of the enactment of this act, the Secretary of State, in collaboration with the Attorney General and the Secretary of State, shall, pursuant to yada, 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 yada. Okay, I guess they still hasn't submitted to Congress a report and any resulting designation of the council, or if this, I don't know if they came to a agreement or if they came to a verdict. I don't know this one version of the bill text. I don't think it was introduced in June the 24th, 2025. So I don't know if they've came to a decision yet. Nope, introduced. Not passed to president, became a law. So no, it's just been introduced. It hasn't even went through the whole gamut right here, is what I'm seeing right here. It hasn't even went through the whole gamut. It's just right there. But that dude broke it down. He broke it down. And as you can see, if I could pull up some more of that, let me see. Cars. Let me see. Let's see. Muslims in government positions. Let me see if I could find it. Let me see if I could find it. I just had it earlier today. Is this it? Okay, there's one. Let me see if I can find. That was 2022. American Muslim elected officials. So CAR 2023. Okay. Can I get 2025? 2026? 2025. Let's see. Cars. I want to get 2025. Oh, let me see if I can do this. Cars elected officials 2025. Can I get that? Does it give me that? No. Okay, because I have this, but I want to see the same. No, directory. Directory. Do we get a directory of 2025? No, they only got 2022. They don't give us. Let's see. So Council on American Cars actively engages with elected officials, but does not appear to publish a comprehensive 2025 directory of elected officials on its main site. So they did it in 2022 and 2023, but they did not do it in 2024 25. So we're going to look at, okay, so they changed their shit up because they realized they were showing a whole lot. Yeah, straight up. They realized a lot was coming up. So anyway, we're gonna look at 2023 and see if they have a map like they did in the other one. Oh, they got a map. Oh, they got a map. Oh shit. We can look at both maps. Yes, we are. We look at both maps. We look at 2022 map and we look at 2023 map. They stopped putting maps out because they was like, we telling too much. These motherfuckers are looking into it. All right, come on. Let's go. Go back. All right. Really? Is this like this? All right, so here we go. We're gonna look at both maps. We're gonna look at 2022 map and 2023 map. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got both of them. All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna show you what the map is. So here's a directory for cars, basically. Council of American. Did they change it? Check this out. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Directory of American Muslim elected official. Directory of American Muslim elected. Okay, no, they didn't change it, but this is cars. Okay, so this is cars of 2023 and 2022. Okay, now they both have maps. So here's the nationwide count of American Muslims elected officials by state in 2022, and here is the same thing. But this is going to go to 2023's map. So here's the map of 2023. All right, so I'm going to just point out the obvious ones. So California, okay, so here we go. We're going to go 2022, California had 17. In 23, California has 26. In 2022, Texas had 4. 2023, Texas got 7. In New Jersey in 2022, they had 40. In 2023, they got 50. Now, again, if you pay attention to this, those numbers have went up a lot. Let me see. Allegedly, let's see. In 2022, Michigan they had 39. 2023, they got 37, but that number has gone up since then. Minnesota, they had 13. In 2022, they had 13. 2023, they had 17. We know Minnesota went up a hell of a lot. So these numbers have increased for sure. These numbers have increased for sure. For sure. This is just from 2022 to 2023. Okay? So just know we're in 2026. These numbers have went up for sure. Just last year, they won 42 or 45 elected officials across the nation. Between 42 and 45, they won across the nation, elected officials. They won, like 42 to 45 people won in 2025 alone. Okay? So just understand that this dude, he basically broke down how the shit works. He basically told you, he's like, look, the way they move is, they come in and use freedom of speech, is what he said. They come in, they use freedom of speech, and they find a way to get in, and then they infiltrate and they come in and they basically conquer. They conquer your shit. And they go after your children. They'll get your children, and they'll assimilate through weaponizing your universities. And they'll weaponize your universities, via the scholars or via the students at the universities. And they'll find a way in through your politics. And I mean, they said that they would, and they did. He broke that down like a fraction. So shout out to that dude right there. He broke that down like a fraction. Now let me see. Let's see how they infiltrate a country. Let me see if I can find this one that I have, because I don't feel like going through my stuff, like trying to find it. But this one dude, he broke down exactly how they do it, and he was very nice the way he said it. He was a very, very nice dude the way he explained it. But let's see. Muslim Brotherhood openly explains the plan to conquer American Europe and destroy Western civilizations. Muslims tried and failed to conquer Europe for 700 years through war. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this real quick. And let's see if this ties in with what that last guy was talking about. He said, but now there's a much easier way. We can peacefully infiltrate with the help from naive Western governments and voters. Pay close attention and you'll understand how New York and London ended up with Muslim mayors.
700 years.
All right, so here we go. This guy's going to break this down. All right, so we have a leader for the Muslim Brotherhood who the previous guy said that the Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist organization as well as Islamist. They're all terrorist organization. Well, here's a Brotherhood leader who's going to explain how they plan to conquer America and Europe. So here we go. We're going to check this out. Let's look at this. This is good shit right here. Here we go. Let's hear what he says.
700 years of our trial to conquer Europe by force failed. They did something wrong, very wrong. They tried for many years to conquer Europe through wars, only wars.
This is the soft Islamic conquest of the West. Basically, what the Islamic and again, I'm an Orthodox Muslim. What we couldn't do in the last, say, 20 years, now the West is doing it for us for free and even paying for it.
Allah permitted them to live off the infidel while they are subduing them. So it had sort of a parasitic type of attitude where they can live off of the host country, where their goal is to eventually eradicate the host culture and supplant it with Islam.
700 years of our trial to conquer Europe by force failed. They did something wrong, very wrong. They tried for many years to conquer Europe through wars, only wars.
This is the soft.
That dude said they've been trying to conquer Europe for 700 years. Bro, they've been trying for 700 years and failed. Said they've been doing something very wrong. Couldn't figure it out. Now they got their foot in the door. They are about to lay the smack down. Yes. They finna lay the smack down. 700 years you've been trying and now you finally got, boy, they finna wreak havoc. They ain't finna let this shit go. No. They not finna let this go. They not finna let this go, bro. They finna to lay the smacketh down it. They are not playing. They finna lay it down. Pause. They finna 700 years you were trying to conquer a country. He said Europe. This motherfucker said they were trying to conquer a continent, not a country. He said they're trying to conquer Europe for 700 years, the whole damn continent. That's crazy work. Do you know the dedication, the focus, the discipline that you have to, the passing down of to, and now we're here. Now we're here. Okay, so now it makes sense as we see the difference between the Muslims and the Islamists. We have a random meme that somebody pull up. Let's see if this holds any weight. It says 3 phases of Muslim immigration. Let's see if this holds any weight. It says phase 1, few in number, oppress Islam. They play the victim, call everybody Islamophobia, and more tolerant of others. Phase 2, they become the large minority. They indignant Islam, threatening, demand Sharia law, intolerant of infidels. Phase 3, clear majority, dominant Islam, militia, strict Sharia law, kill and subdue all infidels. So right now we're here in phase 1. We are in phase 1. We are in phase 1. We're getting here, but we're here right here. Right now we're calling people Islamophobes and we're more tolerant of others. It's where we're at right here as far as this goes. I don't know how much weight that holds, but you know, I mean, in due time, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Faces of Jihad or Islamist. Here's the faces. The charity, The politics and the violence. Different tools, same mission. That's crazy. We know what these look like. We see these people that we see, you know, don't mess with the Zohan, and then we see the violence. I don't think we have, we haven't seen these ones yet. We haven't got the jihad. I think these fools are over there in Europe right about now. So as we see, it's slowly but surely coming across. It's slowly but surely coming across. Man, it's crazy. And you can see it as clear as day. Dang, I don't know if this is true either. Here's another meme. But if this meme is true, then what that guy just said is true. Middle Eastern refugees in USA, or we'll just say Islamists, 91% receive food stamps, 73% on Medicare, and 63% on cash welfare. So literally using the governmental system to take over the country, which is what this dude said. He basically broke that down. Why is it in fact that Islam? This is what he said. He said it right here. Look, he said it right here. Oh my goodness. He said it right here. Oh my, I have to play it back. Here we go.
Yet they're not radical. They're not supporters or glorifiers of terrorists. But a person who is a Muslim living all the way in France or Britain is more radicalized and is more there is more likely that he's going to become a member of the ISIS or a Muslim Brotherhood terrorist organization. Is the fact that the West, up to this point, the media is justifying the existence of, for example, Islamic Relief as a charity organization in UK or in the West. Why? It's not a charity organization. It's a foundation or an organization that steals the money from the West, the pockets of the people who are willing to help. Yet it takes that money and it gives it to organizations, terrorist organizations in the Middle East under the name of a school and hospitals. But those schools are run by actual Islamist terrorists who fund and support even Hamas. You cannot be Muslim more than me. You will not be more Arab than I. So why is it that I banned the Muslim Brotherhood and you haven't? Why is it the fact that Islamic Relief is banned in UAE and is banned in Mecca, but is allowed in Paris and in London? So there is a lot of questions to be asked.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead and drop the microphone, sir. A man just said, you ain't more Muslim than me. Why we banned at UAE and Mecca, but you let this shit go on where you at? Boy, bars. Barry Anderson Reese story. Bars. Straight up, man. Oh my goodness. Wow. I don't even know if I should even go on with the show anymore after that one. Bro just laid the smacketh downeth upon thee. Let me go ahead and find, and I always play this. I hate to keep playing it, but I have to play it again. And just to reiterate this extremist. I always play this dude, but I got to play it again. This guy who was an Ayman, he said whenever he was a extremist and Islamist. Listen to him break it down. Here we go.
Liberals are just useful idiots.
When I was an extremist, Islamist, fundamentalist, I would only vote left.
Why is that?
I saw them as very stupid. I would fear the conservatives because they come with principle. That's not someone they can brainwash. But the left, I know they have no values and no principles to begin with. I dare you to find one Islamic extremist that votes for Donald Trump. Never do it. They'd give their vote to the leftist who wants to run around in pride parades. And Islamic extremists are against gays and homosexuals and transgenders, but they want the left to go and get busy with that. They want them, go speak about the climate, go speak about abortion, go kill yourselves, go do that.
What is the fundamentalist and jihadi agenda for America?
The future of America has to be Muslim.
There it is, and he broke that down. That's the difference between a Muslim and an Islamist. He broke it down like a fraction, like a freaking fraction. Bro broke that down to a T. Let me see if I can find the other thing that I had here earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Where's the other thing that I had? And why is my internet jicking up? Why is my internet jicking up right now? Let me see. Where is the thing? It's the elected officials. But no, I don't want that. Where is it? Where is it? Oh no, actually I had it over here, but I can't find it. Where is it? I had the website earlier, but it's giving me a hard time. Let's see. Hers elected officials. Let me see. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look how they got this. This is crazy. This is their website. This is their website. Support the. They literally over here with this bullshit. Look at this. Empowering American Muslims, protecting civil rights, promoting justice. Like it's like, okay, look, we got we the people on the Constitution on this side, and then you got empowering American Muslims, protecting civil rights, and promoting justice on this side. So you got the Constitution over here, but then you got the American Muslims over here protecting the civil rights and promoting justice. They literally are like, we are waging war against your constitutional America, trying to turn this shit into an American Muslim Islamic state. This is crazy. Protect your community from ICE. ICE is targeting Afghan community members. The Trump administration just issuing, but this is crazy work. This is crazy work. I wish I could find it. Oh, that's what it was. Their mission statement. Our impact by the numbers. Government, media interviews, outreach, engagement workshops. What we do. I need to find the mission statement. It was the mission statement. Where was the mission? Oh, no. I know where it is. It's right here. I remember where it's at now. Okay. Is this it right here? Okay. So here it is. I got it now. I found it. This is what I was trying to find. I couldn't find it because I was bullshitting. Let me see. I need to find the other one then. Where's the other one that I had? Where's the 2020? Oh, shit. Where is it? No. God dang it. Can we go over? Is it do I have too much stuff up? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Here's that. Okay. There's that. Okay. Here's that. There's that. I got way too much stuff up over here. Can I? No, I can't do it. Damn it. Okay. So get that. Come on, yo. All right, let me see if I can get this pulled up real quick. I just had it, but I got so much stuff I got to go over. You know what? Let me get somewhere. Yeah, okay. We just saw you, so we can pull you down. We'll get that down. There it is. That helps out a little bit. Okay. Oh man, stomach is growling. All right, we got you up here. We got you up here. We need you. All right, give me 1 second. I got to get this up real quick. We'll start with this one. All right, so we'll start with this one. So he's saying that that this is their let me see. This is their introduction. I want to look at the one from 2023 though, because I just showed this one earlier. Let's see. Okay, so here we'll look at this. This is from 2022. This is the same thing I showed you earlier. This is from 2022. So we're gonna look at 2022, then we're gonna go over to 2023. So right here, in 2022, today, 189 elected American officials who identify as Muslims hold state or local office across 30 states. They're members of Congress, state legislators, members, mayors, councilors, and school board officials, judiciary members, and law enforcement. 189 elected officials, with 40 Muslim elected officials in Jersey. New Jersey leads the way for local representation, and last year elected their first ever members for the New Jersey State Legislature. Okay, so this is 2022. Okay, Michigan follows closely with 39 elected officials. So that's 2022. All right, so let me see if I can go and find the elected officials for 2023. I want to find that thing. I want to find that thing. Where is it? Okay, so here's this. All right, so let's see what they did on this one. Introduction. All right, so here's the introduction for 2023. All right, so the Council of the CARS, this is the Justice Education System Technology Policy Action, joined and complied this comprehensive update directory of 235 elected officials. So they went from 189 to 235 in a year. That's from 2022 to 2023. They went from 189 to 235. All right. So this is over 30 states. All right. They're reshaping their own narrative through their leadership and public service. This growing political representation of American Muslims indicate a significant development in local and state politics. American Muslims are breaking stereotypes and confronting prevalent issues of Islamophobia. There we go again with that word, Islamophobia. Again, do I have to do another crash course on the word phobia? I think I do. We're going to do another crash course on phobia. That's such bullshit when they say that. Phobia. What is a phobia? Let's just do this again. I did this earlier. Phobia. Okay? Meaning. We need the actual dictionary meaning. Let's go ahead and do it. Phobia. We're going to do it again. We just did this last show. We're going to do it again this show. Here we go. Dictionary. Phobia is an extreme or irrational fear or adverse to something. Exactly. So when you say Islamophobia, then that is correct. Yes, it's a fear. It's not a hatred. It's a fear. So when the dumbasses say you're an Islamophobe, it's like, yeah, I fear that you're going to try to take over the country instead of assimilate with the country. Yeah, it's a fear. I don't hate you, but I do fear something bad is what you're doing. You're coming to a country and you're fucking trying to take it over and make it your own. That's called conquering a country. Conquering. You're at war. Yes. So yes, by phobia, by having a fear of something, of you doing something irrational or extreme or aversion to something, yes, that's what you're doing. You are a fucking... Yes. Yeah, you are correct. You are correct. But when you say it, you're trying to call somebody Islamophobe thinking that they're dumb and don't read books or can be educated to understand that this word does not mean hatred. This word means you have a fear that you are trying to do something fucked up to somebody. Yes, I do fear that you're trying to do something fucked up to me. Yes, that's correct. So here we go. So they have this inside of their introduction. Again, trying to call people out as Islamophobes. The number of elective American Muslims increased 19.5% over 2022 from 189 to 235. So yeah, I was right. Let's see. The directory provides key statistics on diverse representations of American Muslim officials. Notably, 92, this is 2023, 92 individuals hold town, city, and county council member positions, demonstrating significant community civic involvement. That includes 12 council mayors, chairs, and presidents. There are also 2 American Muslims serving in their city or county executive's office as mayor. All right, so it reveals out to 235 elected. Okay, so the 40% identify as female. Wow. Continuing a trend toward greater gender equality and representation. Shit, women are going to eat this shit up, because if women see this kind of equality and empowerment, women are going to push this shit over for sure, because this right here, it destroys the patriarchy, it destroys white supremacy, it destroys everything, and it has financial backing. Wow. Oh my goodness. Women are going to eat this shit up. So the feminists are riding this wave heavily. This makes so much sense. Wow. In comparison, the United States, 31% in America, in comparison to America, 31% of municipal and 27% of congregational offices are respectively held by women. But over here in the Muslims, 235 elected American Muslim officials, 40%, so 95 out of 235 identify as female. This is the perfect feminist weapon. This makes so much sense. If you hate patriarchy, if you're trying to take down the patriarchy, if you're trying to empower females, if you're pro-feminism, if you're anti, this is the perfect thing to use, and it has a strong financial backing behind it. Nationwide, there are 33 American Muslim state representatives and 13 American state senators. So this is 2023. This is 2023. This ain't even current. I can't find a current because they don't got one for current. They don't have one for current at all. Oh my God. Let me see if I can find cars directory 2024? Maybe 2024. Do they got one for 2024? They stopped doing that shit. They was like, yo, we gotta stop doing this. Well, maybe they have one. I just need to just look on their website and find it. Look at this. Check this out, yo. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this. What we do. Civil rights and look, this is all women. This is all women, yo. This is all women. This shit is a straight up, oh my goodness. This is like feminist 2.0. Like these, oh my god. If I was a terrorist trying to take over America, this would be my weapon right here. This would be my weapon. What we do, civil rights and civil liberties. I would have liberal white women, black women. I would have all sorts of women who hate patriarchy, immigrants, everybody on board with this shit. I'll be giving them money. And then you got the fraud in Minnesota with the Ilhan Omar shit with Tim Walz and Jacob Frey or Fry, whatever you want to call him. Like, oh boy. This makes so much sense. This makes so much sense. It makes sense now. What we do, civil rights and civil liberties, countering Islamophobia. Oh my goodness. Yeah, whatever. Community empowerment. Really? Or is it female empowerment? Educating public about Islam. Good Lord. Civic engagement. Wow. Changing the media narrative. Training future leaders, children. Wow. Issues. Discrimination. Religious liberty are the issues. Watch list profiling are the issues. Free speech is the issues. Global Islamophobia is the issues. Hate crime. Bruh. Can you see this? Do I need to zoom in on this? Can you see this? Look at this. And it's all women. They got dudes there too, but these motherfuckers, oh my, this is all women, bro. This is feminism on this is feminism terrorism to conquer America on steroids. And I hate to say it, but they might succeed. I think they're gonna succeed, bro. Cause all of our lawmakers, there's 72 US lawmakers positions that are opening up for re-election. 63 of them people are not they are not reinstating their positions. They're retiring. They're getting too old. It's out. It's changing. It's for a fact it's changing. Wow. This is crazy. I just did a last stream trying to tell people which way we're going. Yeah. Yeah, they are using Islam as a means to change. So Islamist coupled with feminists, coupled with liberal Democrats, coupled with immigrants. Man, oh man, where is it? Where is my soundbite? There it is. Hey, I see it now. It's for sure. The future is female. Oh my goodness, they are getting money out there. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last. That's the key question. What does the future look like? How long will it last? Will it be sustainable? Will it be bright for a future? Will it be sustainable for a future? Because, I don't know. So I look at Muslims versus Islamists is the topic of the show today, but me now looking into this and seeing how this is working out, like, oh my goodness, boy, oh boy, oh boy, what is this? Automate your 30 nights of giving, automate your 10 nights of giving, calculate your zakat. What is zakat? Currency for zakat. Calculate your obligation based on your assets and debt. Include only funds you can access and use. Holy shit. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. 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 Yeah, this is ending Orwellian state of... What? What? Ending Orwellian state of... No, it's... Oh, this is interesting. All right, check this out. Priorities. Our priorities for 2026. This is the Council for American Islamic Relations. their priority for 2026 is protecting nonprofit organizations, protecting Muslim nonprofits from smears and witch hunts. What? Protecting Muslim nonprofits from smears and witch hunts? The fuck do you mean by witch hunts? You got witches? Everybody got witches. Witches, it makes sense. Look, it makes sense. Protecting from, bruh. Humanizing immigration policy, standing in solidarity with immigrant families threatened with mass deportation. To fight nice. Defending free speech on Palestine, defending free speech at colleges and workplaces. We already got free speech. I feel like speech has been detained more than ever. As long as I've been alive, free speech is at an all-time low right now. Ending Orwellian state abuses, ending the watch list and other discriminatory government abuses. Okay, I have to see what this is with this witch hunt. Protecting nonprofits, ensuring nonprofit integrity in troubling times. Okay, all right, let's see. CARS is working to protect nonprofit organizations from attempts to smear them, silence them, even shut them down because of their advocacy for Palestinian human rights. I'm trying to figure out what the witch hunt is all about. I want to see what the witch hunt thing is. I don't see anything for witches. Policies have encountered dangerous bills, hosted educational trainings for hundreds of, over 18,000 Americans use CARS emergency actions to tell their member of Congress to oppose the bill, which would give a single official in the Treasury Department to the power to declare that the nonprofits have supported terrorism and strip away its taxable deductible status without normal due process. This dangerous bill passed the House, but has been blocked in the Senate. Okay. I'm trying to see what about the witch hunt. Like, yo, you motherfuckers support witches? Like, that's demonic as fuck. Nonprofit, protecting Muslim nonprofits from smears and witch hunts. Like, are you motherfuckers witches? Are you saying it right here in your thing? Are you fucking witches? I mean, don't get it twisted. There's witches everywhere. There's Christian witches. There's Islamic witches. There's Muslim witches. Women are fucking witches all over. These motherfuckers be doing witchcraft and voodoo all over the fucking place. So, I mean, I get it. But damn. I mean, damn. Okay. Again, I'm not against, I don't have anything against Muslims. It's just this Islamic shit is crazy. It's crazy. Whew. All right, let me go ahead and go on to Ayan Hirsi Ali. She's going to go ahead and give a good breakdown about a student who doesn't comprehend or understand. A student defends Muslims, but I think what they mean to say is student defends Islamist. Then allegedly faints when you hear Ayan Ali says this about Islam. So let's see what this goes on. So she's gonna, Ayan Hirsi Ali, and ma'am, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. She's going to try to educate a student about Islam because he really doesn't know. So you're going to see a young kid. This kid's probably like early 20s or something, probably late teen, early 20s. I mean, you can tell the boy that probably doesn't read books or knows much of shit about history. He only knows what the college tells him and doesn't do like a deep dive into critical thinking, which is a huge, 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 huge problem in, Gen Z. These fuckers can't critical think for themselves for shit, but, that's a story for another day. She's going to try to educate him, but you're going to see where his mind is, and you're going to see like he don't have a backbone to stand on. But let's go ahead and check this out. So let me pull this up for you, and let's take a look at this conversation. Here we go.
I'd like to reiterate the thanks for your time here at the University of Austin.
Hey, Austin, what's good?
What I wanted to ask you was, you speak of Islamophobia and classes like Black Studies as phony ideological things, but I was curious as to what makes them different. What makes white supremacy different, or like Islamophobia so different from anti-Semitism, as we did import many African slaves that died in the millions, and so did South American countries even more so. We did force Native Americans on forced marches that...
if these people hate white supremacy so much, which I get it, before I play the whole video, The liberals hate white supremacy so damn much, right? They hate white supremacy. They're like, white supremacy, we hate it. Well, then why don't you, help the black people that's here in the damn America? Why don't you help the black people that's in the country if you hate white supremacy so much? Why the fuck do you support Islamists? I don't understand that for the life of me. Like, if you're like, we hate white supremacy, okay, cool, I agree. So why do you not help the black people in America, but you turn around and support Islamists? That shit don't make any sense whatsoever. I don't grasp that ideology. I just don't get it. But let's continue.
And genocide. There are Muslims being massacred in China today. So what makes anti-Semitism so different?
Two things. One is we have reckoned in America and in Western European countries, we've had a great reckoning with our past. We've addressed the fact that we engaged in slavery, we fought a war, we ended it. We had segregation, we had another major fight, we ended it. We had the civil rights movement. We brought women out of, and by the way, in fighting for all of those emancipations, the people who were heading these fights were constantly quoting from the Bible. They were believing Christians and they were inspired by their Christianity. So number one, we had that reckoning. Number two, anti-Semitism is the oldest hatred in humanity, and you find it, believe it or not, across the entire world. What made the West different after they nearly exterminated their Jews was to have that honest look in the mirror and reckon with what they did. And then those campaigns to end it. Islamophobia is a made-up word. It's made up by a political movement that wants to exploit and capitalize on white guilt to achieve its end goal, which is the revival of the caliphate. And the revival of the caliphate is to convert all of us into Islam, whether we like it or not. Those of us who refuse to do that, we will surely be beheaded. I'm sure I'm on top. And that is their end goal. And so they're exploiting these Western part of subversion. This is just a guest speech, but I wish that at some point someone here could start a lecture series on subversion, on active measures, on asymmetric warfare. That would get you interested in what it is that the Islamists are doing and how they've become so successful against these great nations with this incredible military and economic structures, and yet the Islamists are winning. Islam is spreading. They're doing better today than they were doing in 2001 after they hit us and we invaded Afghanistan. They've got Afghanistan back. They have Iraq back. They have Syria. And these Muslim governments are they're shaking in their boots. They're worried about what could happen to them because of the Islamist movement, and that's why the Islamist movement came here. And they're exploiting principles like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, and so on. And of course, these progressive movements that we have here, we've got to understand that, and we've got to become really creative in finding a way of preserving our principles. I don't want to give up on the freedom of speech. But on the other hand, on beating the Islamists at their game.
Okay, that's true. She said they're coming in and they're conquering countries with mighty. So she's saying Islamists are conquering countries with mighty militaries, and it's like they don't understand how they're able to come in and conquer a country with mighty militaries. That's why she said study subversion and study the other things that she said, because that's how they're able to do it. What's his name? Yuri Bensivakov or whatever his name is. Sorry if I butchered your name. He spoke on subversion from within, how you're able to subvert a country from within by demoralizing the country. And as you see, like the more demoralized side of the country, the more the side that is more demoralized is the side that you push forward, because then you can come in and take them over. I went and I looked up. Well, you know what? I went and I looked up the difference between Muslim and Islamist, and I'm gonna put this up here as she talks. I gotta find. Damn it, where is she? Damn it, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I lost you. Where are you? No, did I lose you? No, because you're not over there. You're over here. Where are you? I just had you. Here she is. Okay, so I pulled up Muslim versus Islamist just to show you the difference. Okay, because there's a big difference between the two, and let's look into it real quick before we continue this. It says right here, Islam is a religion practiced by nearly 2 billion people worldwide. Okay, while Islamism, okay, Islamism is a political ideology that seeks to impose a strict interpretation of Islam on all aspects of society. A Muslim is someone who adheres to the religion of Islam, whereas an Islamist is someone who believes that the rules of Islam should influence state legislation or be enforced on non-Muslims, which is what she's telling these kids. She's telling them. She's like, look, they finna put this shit on you in the caliphate. You're gonna fall, you're gonna fall to the whims of the caliphate. They're gonna bring back the caliphate. What is the caliphate? Let's look up what the caliphate is. Caliphate is, let's see, let me see, is where can I find? Let me actually find it exactly how it works. Let me see, caliphate. How does it work? I need to figure out how it works. We'll just figure out what the caliphate is. So here's what the caliphate is. Caliphate is basically a institutional, or come on, zoom in. It's a institutional public office under the leadership of Islamic steward with the title caliph. All right, a person considered a political religious successor to Islamic prophet Muhammad and a leader of the entire Muslim world. Historically, the caliphates were polities based on Islam, which developed into multi-ethnic transnational empires. All right, so let's see, what is the caliphate though? How is it? Let's see, Ali's caliphate. What is the caliphate? How serious is it? Let me see. Caliphate. All right, come on. All right, so we have Al-Qaeda. We got Al-Qaeda. Let me see. Al-Qaeda. Let me see. Avoids opposition. No, we're not gonna look at that. The Quran uses Khalifa twice, creating humanity as his Caliph on earth. Second addresses King David as God's Khalifa, reminds him of the obligation to rule with justice. Okay, we get that. Okay. We have the Hadith. I'm not going to look at the Hadith. I need to go into, you know what? We'll let her continue with what she was saying because she breaks down, I believe she breaks down the caliphate as well. I'll let her do the talking. So anyway, let's go back to her. So here we go.
Is there room for compromise between principles?
If I want to kill you and behead you, unless you convert to the religion I dictate, what would be the place of compromise?
Well, I would not mind converting, as I myself am an agnostic, so have no faith, have no established faith. However, I understand that some people would not share that vision. So,
this clown here, look at this. I'm about to say, bro, you gotta have something to stand on. This fool's like, oh yeah, I'll just do whatever anybody else tells me to do. All right, let's go ahead and break this down real quick. Let me give you an example. This isn't a caliphate, but let's just give an example of what it could. This is the world he's talking about. This is potential. I could be wrong, but this is potentially the world he could be talking about. Conforming or converting to. This is Boko Haram. Boko Haram. Let's see. I don't want to say all this because this is too big of words. Is a Nigerian Taliban. Other translations and variants are used in Nigeria-based groups that seeks to overthrow the current Nigerian government which is basically like a Islamic thing of what we've seen in America, and replace it with the regime based on Islamic law. Okay, so Boko Haram could be a good example. It's popularly known in Nigeria and Western media as Boko Haram, which means Western education is forbidden. The word Boko is holdover from the colonial English word for book. The group, which has existed in various forms since the late 1990s, they got a setback in 2009. Boko Haram former second in command appeared in a video claiming leadership of the group and threatening to attacks on Western influences in Nigeria. Later that month, Shikayu issued a second statement expressing solidarity with Al-Qaeda and threatening the U.S. Under Shikayu's leadership, the group continued to demonstrate growing operational capabilities with an increasing use of improvised explosive devices, IEDs, vehicle-borne IEDs, and female suicidal attacks against a wide range of targets. The group set off its first vehicle IED in 2011, and Boko Haram conducted its first attack against a Western interest on a vehicle bomb under the UN headquarters, killing at least 23 people, injuring more than 80. Purported Boko Haram spokesman claimed responsibility for the attack and promised future targeting of U.S. and Nigerian government interests. Boko Haram capabilities increased in 2014, with the group conducting nearly daily attacks against Christians, security and police forces, the media, schools, politicians, and Muslims perceived as collaborators. Boko Haram continued to raise its international profile in 2015, pledging allegiance to the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant in March, and publicly using the name ISIL, West African Province. The similar variants in conducting simultaneously suicidal bombings in Chad in June, the first such attack in the country's capital. Boko Haram's violence, including kidnapping of 276 schoolgirls in Borno State, Nigeria in 2014, brought international condemnation, and in 2015 provoked a large regional CT offensive against the group that displaced it from the majority of its strongholds in Nigeria. Nonetheless, Boko Haram remains resilient, conducting attacks on neighboring countries, which is Cameroon, Chad, Niger, as well as Nigeria, emphasizing threats and poses to Western and regional interests. All right, so let me see. I don't know how old this thing is. I don't know how old this is or whatever, but this is just an idea of Islamic State. This is an Islamic regime. You see how adamant they are. You see how persistent they are and how violent they are. It says right here, how persistent these people are. Right here, Boko Haram's capabilities increased in 2014, with the groups conducting nearly daily attacks against Christians, security, police forces, media, schools, politicians, and Muslims perceived as collaborators. We are literally seeing that attack in America right now as we speak. 10 years ago, they were doing this shit, but then they had to, recalibrate and figure out how can we hit it at a different angle to get it. And this is what she's trying to describe to this kid. She's trying to break this shit down to this little kid, but he can't fathom what she's saying. He doesn't understand because he don't understand violence. He don't get violence. They're coming in. They've already did the violent shit, but they realize, okay, we can't do it like that. Because that last dude said we've been trying to get Europe for 700 years, and we failed. But now they see the angle that they can get, and then once they get into certain prominent positions and get fuckers like this comfortable and okay in agreeance, like slowly, like the pot with the boiling hot pot of water with the frog in it who doesn't know to jump out until he's cooked, and even by then you're dead. Like, he doesn't understand it, and she's trying to tell him, like, look, it's not gonna happen all at once. It'll get to that point, but before you know it, you're trying to convert, but you don't know what conversion looks like. But let's continue. Oh shit. Up, wrong button. My bad, people. Sorry, wrong button. Here we go. Let's continue.
Let's play with this thought for a while. There's a time and a place for everything. And for some of the people, say in places like Africa, we don't talk about this, but Islamists are active in Africa and violently so. If you're a Christian in Egypt or a Hindu in parts of Pakistan, and you have someone looking at you and saying, you'll either lose your head or you convert to Islam, it makes sense to consider converting to Islam. But here today, for us to have the attitude of, well, we'll see what happens, and if we get to that point, I'll just convert, I will say, are you sure? Maybe you want to get educated on what would happen once you convert. What would your life be like, and the life of your sisters and women? What would they do to the Jews? He has said, this man, I repeat it, he said they're bacteria and they're microbes. And in the video that I showed you, they made it very clear it has nothing to do with Palestine. It has everything to do with them being Jewish. So they are going to annihilate the Jews. Will you stand by and watch that? Maybe I should give introduction to Islam and Islamism as a lecture series, and once you understand what it's all about, you might develop a backbone.
I would look forward to that greatly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so she broke that down to him gently. Now, let me see if I can find, let me find this. Let me see, an Islamic regime country. Let's see. Let me see. Where are we at? Let's see. Let me see if I can find an Islamic regime country and how it looks. Let me see. Let's see if we can just see one. Because, I mean, we should be able to find one. Iranians abroad join renewed protest against Islamic Republic. No. What is it? Crowds in Iran protest Israel. No. Iran's journey. What would a post-Islamic? No. Let me see. Iran before and after Islamic revolutions. 5 differences in 15 minutes. I need something quick. Islamic regime ideology not compatible with Iranians yearning for political. Let's look at these shorts. We'll do shorts. I think shorts would be the best way to go, just to get quick and straight to the point. Iran says it won't surrender, warns U.S. of irreparable damage. Where is it? Okay. We'll look at some of these. Unfortunately, let's see, Islamic regime country. I should say countries, but we'll go with this right here. Here we go.
In the
We'll look at this. So let's see. Islamic regime countries. Here we go.
20th century, Iran was ruled by a dynasty that pushed rapid westernization. European clothes, parties, and secularism replacing traditional Islamic life. The dynasty allied closely with the West, giving foreign powers major control over Iran's oil and culture. Many religious groups saw this as a betrayal of Islamic values. Land reforms took property from Islamic endowments, and secular laws replaced Sharia courts. The government silenced clerics, but resentment grew quietly. Then came the movement led by a religious leader, Ayatollah Khomeini. Millions rose up, demanding the end of the dynasty and a return to Islamic rule. In 1979, the dynasty collapsed. The Islamic Republic was born, merging religion with state power. For some, it restored faith and independence. For others, it replaced freedom with control. In the mid-20th century, Iran was ruled by...
So that's what it looks like. So what she's trying to tell that young boy, she's trying to tell him like, hey, your way of life, what you know will change dramatically. You know, some people prefer the religious mixed with the state, while other people prefer the free will. You know what I mean? Have the will to do and say what you want. You can, you know, some people prefer the Western style of living as opposed to a religious state control society, because one is under control and one is free will. The free will may have more secular, but that's the free will that comes with it. The other one is religious state control. There ain't no free will. You gonna follow this shit or you gonna get executed. And that's the difference between the two. And the kid doesn't know a difference between either one. He has no clue as to what one looks like over the other, because he's always lived in one. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. Now it seems like let me see. Let's look at a Muslim country. Let's see. A Muslim. Well, if I say Muslim, it's not gonna really know the difference. A Muslim country. Well, what did she say? She said UAE or You know what? Muslim versus Islamic country. What would be the difference between the two? Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if we'll be able to find one in time because I do got to get up out of here. Muslims, we already have that. Why are Muslim countries becoming poor? No, I just want to see shorts. Nope, I don't see it. What do you think of the Islam? What is this 13 years ago? Many people in Germany continue to hold a negative view of Islam. Taking Germany. This is 13 years ago. We don't want to see that, but we probably do. LBC caller says he's afraid of Britain becoming a Muslim country. Huh. I can't find anything that would basically put it into perspective for us to see it. But let's see.
Some people say.
Okay, so this guy, I guess he's a Christian that moved to a Muslim country. Not an Islamic, but Muslim. He moved to Dubai. Let's see how he feels about it. Let's take a look.
To me, but Samuel, you're Christian. You love Jesus. How are you integrating in an Islam country with Muslims? That just freaks me out when people say that, because firstly, Muslims love Jesus too. Now, fine, they've got a different perspective and it's not the same religion. I get it, we've got differences. But I feel more aligned to Muslims because at least they fear God. They've got the same values than I do atheists. People that are, no wrong with atheists, I love atheists. But people that are anti-God, I find that more offensive than someone who's got a different religion to me. And also, people say, oh, but what about the violent ones? I've never met one. Every Muslim I've ever met has been kind, humble, and sweet. So I'm very happy to live in a country. And listen, I'm a guest here. I'm a guest, but there's good churches here. There's thriving churches. I'm free to worship, and I'm free to be a Christian. Some people say to me, but
now you see, he's in Dubai, UAE. So therefore, he's in a Muslim country as a Christian, as opposed to being in a Islamic regime as a Christian. I don't think that shit would fly. So that's the difference between the two. Could you be in? Let's see, Iran as a Christian. Let's see what Iran looks like as a Christian, not Christina. As a Christian, do we have any shorts where we could look at this quickly? Give me the damn shorts. Stop giving me these long ass things. Let me see if we could find a short. Iranian Christians urge global church to stand on the right side of history. Let's see. How does this look? Okay, so here we go. We're going to look at being a Christian in a Islamic country. Let's see how this looks. This is Iran. So let's see how this looks. Here we go.
Inside the Islamic Republic, Iranians are still being attacked, arrested, and murdered by the regime.
It's an open prison. Nobody is allowed to speak. Nobody is allowed to express their opinion. Nobody is allowed to do anything unless the government dictates them. And it's a sad story.
Edwin Abnous of Heart for Iran tells CBN News these protests are different from the past.
Many things are aligned for Iranian people to be free, to use this momentum to get to the solution, which is a free Iran, to topple the regime and make sure there's some sort of a democratic government is taking over. But the reality is they are grieving, they are scared, and they want international community to understand, to be their voice.
And while Iranians don't want to see their country devastated by war, they desperately want U.S. intervention.
First, do not negotiate with the regime. And if you cannot finish the job, a lot of them are asking with some sort of intervention, a military invitation, and shut down these the major leaders and the major locations where they are organizing these anti-protest violence against peaceful protesters on the street.
One Iranian church leader called on Christians not to be silent and to stand on the right side of history.
Please pray for all of those who are in jail right now and the people who are in the danger of execution. Please share their names out there and let others know. Because as people who are outside of Iran, don't consider yourself outside of this. You are also included in this battle.
He added that being silent at this time will only help the regime. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem. Inside the Islamic Republic, Iranian...
Okay, so as we saw Christians in a Muslim country, which was Dubai, and then we saw Christians inside of a Islamic regime, which was Iran. And I mean, that's pretty much clear cut as I can see it. Look, I mean, that shows you the difference, and it made it, and it gave you a good understanding from what this guy was breaking down earlier when he was speaking. He said, "Us in the UAE, we don't allow this Islamic people. We don't allow the Islamic regimists, the Islamic extremists to come in and pull that shit off. We kick them out or we deport them or whatever. We see it and we get rid of them." But however, the lady, when she was speaking to the young boy, young man, I should say, she was trying to tell him, like, somehow they're able to go inside these countries with powerful militaries and gain power. Somehow, some way, they're doing it. And right now in America, they're doing it, and they're able to use subversion by utilizing subversion from within, by what is it called? Demoralizing the country, and then finding out what their weak spot is or whatever it is, and then going in against that country and utilizing, what it is that the country has, and going in on that weak point and using that evil from within and exploiting that evil and making it grow, and then going in and then, capitalizing on the evil that it has. And that's, one of the main things is that you're not supposed to let evil grow in your society. You can have free will, but you have to know where to put that evil and keep that shit contained. You can't let evil run rampant. You can have free will, but you got to contain that evil. You got to know how to utilize your evil, because you can't have all good and no bad and no bad and all good. Got to be a balance. You got to know how to balance it out. But I just showed you the difference of a Muslim regime and an Islamic regime, and you saw the difference of the two and how Christians could live in either society, and it was a hell of a difference. With that being said, man, I got to get up out of here. Thank y'all for tuning into another DnL Fitness live stream show. Today we did 2 streams. Yes, 2 of them bad boys. Yes, sir. We had to get up on it. Your boy hurt himself either today or yesterday. I don't know, but I got a pain in my leg, but we're good. We couldn't hit the gym today, but that's okay. We'll use it as a rest day. With that being said, I got to get up out of here, man. I will catch y'all on Monday. We'll do some clips over the weekend to keep you entertained. Until then, we'll catch y'all later. Love y'all. Have a good one. Peace.
Thank you for watching D. Elliott Fitness live stream. Goodbye.
I'd rather be in the studio than in jail or on the street. Talking the wrong, coming off your teeth. Got that one hit to quit and knock you off your feet. It's big on, baby, I'm obsolete. Pockets chunky like cottage cheese. Real nigga, I just gotta be. Smoking weed that don't gotta see. Used to be a hustler prodigy. I love when people say they proud of me. I'm eating good, smoking broccoli. Taking over blocks like Monopoly. Only fuck the ones, that's my policy. Most of these hoes trying to cause a scene. Like niggas mad they not on the team. See, I got bread, then buy the dream.